commentator for Mississippi State football and SEC baseball. So yeah, he brings a lot to the game, and he's right here.
Right now!
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Hey, can you hear me? Welcome in to the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes. That's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents, available to you in all 82 counties around the state. Kind of like me and JB here on the show. We're available to you in all 82 counties around the state of Mississippi. Now, you might be tuned in to a big flame-throwing radio station right now, listening to this show. If so, congratulations. You got the strongest signal there is. But you may also be streaming it in parts unknown. You could, I don't know, you could be, even though it's the middle of the day and hot as all get out, you could be in DeSoto County on a turkey hunt, streaming us right now in one of 8 or 9 different ways, including on the live stream. That includes video as well. Not only can hear me, but you can, I don't know who'd want to see me, but you can see me. Like Doc over here on Periscope said, howdy, Matt. Howdy to you, Doc. Thanks for tuning in. Your first comment on the live stream. If you're on Facebook or YouTube as well, feel free to drop a comment. Y'all can be a part of the show. Drop it in your lap here and see what you think about things. Comment, text me on the Country Pleasing text line. Here's the number, 885-ESPN. I'll give you that again if you need it later. Call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. 995-1059. That's a 601 number, 995-1059. You might need those ways to give me some feedback because I'm about to ask you a question for your opinion on something. Nate over here on Facebook said, hey. Jason said, I can see. And a boy, let's see, said the blind man. Micah in Batesville is tuning in. He texted me on the Country Pleasing text line, said, Hail State from Memphis, Tennessee, watching on YouTube. Attaboy. And Dirty Frank, the first to text the show today, right out of the chutes, with a big old fat hottie toddy. He said, hottie toddy, Matt, and 3 exclamation points. There you go. Hey, JB.
What's happening, big man?
Let me just tell you, do you know how much sunshine improves everything?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it makes everybody feel a little better.
It really does. Are y'all getting sunshine, Jackson Metro?
Got a little partial sunshine.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those partly cloudy people. I'm a half glass full, and so it's partly sunny.
Partly sunny. I got you. Well, here in North Mississippi,
Philadelphia,
here in North Mississippi, where I am, listen, I'm talking blue. It cleared up. It wasn't this way this morning. Of course, it rained yesterday, and cloudy. But man, then the sky has parted, blue skies, and then the sun is beating down. It just improved my mood. It's brighter in here in the studio because I have windows back there. So, it's just, I'm happy to see sunshine. I know we're going to get it off and on the rest of the week and into the weekend. It's kind of a, tomorrow's kind of hit or miss. We may get a lot of rain tomorrow, but regardless, thankful for warm temperatures. And I hear these mowers and blowers going all over the place around, in downtown. And it's just a fun time of year. It starts warming up, popping out. So, yeah, I'm in a relatively good mood and hope you are as well. Now,
what is relatively
considering
all the circumstances?
Well, I just don't want to overstate it, I guess is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm pretty, what's the word? I'm pretty chill. That's good mood. It's not like I'm bouncing off the walls excited about everything right now. I guess that's what it is. Right. I'm just trying not to overstate something. That's all.
I got you.
It's like I got a friend. He used to live here, so we spent a lot of time together. He's moved off, but this guy, every single day of his life, I'm not joking, every day was either the best day he'd ever had or the worst day he'd ever had. At times would look right at you and go, man, this has been the best day I have ever had in my life. The very next day, it's the worst day ever. It's never been worse than this. It's one.
Did he have mental illness at all?
No.
Just
No.
up one day, down the next.
It's just the way he would describe things. I mean, there was no middle ground with him. And it wasn't true. He was just overstating it. That's all it was. Micah in Batesville said, what kind of mug am I drinking? This is a handmade, hand-spun mug, one of those pottery things made by a guy in Pontotoc, Mississippi, and given to me by the folks at High Point Roasters Coffee, Dan the Coffee Man, and the folks at High Point Roasters in New Albany. So it's a local mug somebody made with their own hands. All right, I mentioned it. Here is the question that I want to ask you. And I'm being serious. This is not one I'm throwing out here as in rhetorical in any kind of way. No, I really am curious. Here goes. What is the difference between steroids in baseball for hitters versus pitchers using a foreign substance to strike more people out? What's the difference?
Big difference.
Okay. So your opinion is a big difference.
Yeah. Because
short explanation.
You're not always putting stuff on the ball, but you've always got the steroids in you.
Okay. So it's not like steroids is what?
Full-time cheating versus sometime cheating.
Okay. Steroids have to be ingested. Substance is topical.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, some steroids were creams. Remember?
Okay. Oh, well, okay. I'm breaking down your thinking over there, JB. That's what I didn't know I was
take you long, pal.
It's like the man said.
It ain't like you're figuring out, what the quarterback did on this.
Don't break my arm, pat myself on the back. It's like that man said, "Hey, where are we going?" The other guy goes, "Crazy, follow me."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, I'm just saying. All right,
crazy.
Okay,
Let's
so you're saying that the steroids thing is something that you do to your body versus the foreign substance for a pitcher is something he just doctors the baseball effectively.
Right.
Okay. See now,
doctoring the body versus doctoring the baseball.
Well, what if I said, yeah, but the foreign substance, he's putting it on his fingers.
Mm-hmm. But they don't stay there the whole time.
Okay, but steroids
it's just
are
temporary.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like he's okay. And a foreign substance on the baseball is not going to cause this guy to have cancer 20 years down the road, which we know,
or make him go for a 7 1/4 to an 8 1/4 head size.
Yeah, Barry Bonds, right? Got the big head, literally, figuratively, all that. Okay, okay, that's your opinion. I think a lot.
Yeah,
of
they can't even do a bobblehead with Barry Bonds because it keeps falling over.
He bobbles too much. It's not Barry Bonds' deal is not called a bobblehead, it's called a wobblehead. I'm trying. I tried. Okay, so that's your opinion. I think a lot of people would agree with that opinion. The question is, what's the difference? Big deal hitters using steroids, performance enhancing what? Substance.
Yeah, let me put it to you this way, because you just gave me a good idea. What the pitcher does to the baseball, if the batter did that to the bat, then I would say it's equal. So like if Barry Bonds could rub something magic on his bat that would cause him to be able to hit home runs, then I would say it's equal.
Pine tar.
And you can't unsee George Brett coming out of the dugout, can you?
No, that's a classic moment. Classic moment.
Yeah, and so I just think once it's in the body or on the body somehow,
okay,
it's a little different.
Okay, well here's what I say. I differ in my opinion only because I've thought about this today, JB, coming into this show. All right, as I stand here right now, after thinking about it coming into this show, I don't know that I've felt this way ever before, totally, in these terms. And I'm coming to your text, and I really appreciate your comments. I'm going to get to y'all's opinion on it too. I think I stand here right now, and my opinion is it's one thing to debate this steroids versus foreign substance deal in terms of what it means for the individual. I'm not even talking about that now, okay? So let's be clear. I'm not talking steroids bad for you, can kill a person. Yes. Substance on the hand, whatever that is, no. I get it. It's two totally different things. I'm talking about in terms of baseball and its rules and why the rules are there about performance enhancing what? Drugs or performance enhancing substances, whatever that is. Foreign substance on the baseball. Here's what I say. One of them is frowned upon. Well, one of them gives a player a supposed unfair advantage. And guess what? The other one does too. In terms of its application to the game itself, which that's why we talk about it. You know, we can pretend that we care about Barry Bonds' personal health when he gets to be 65 or 70, but I don't know that we do. So the reason we talk about steroids or foreign substances on the baseball is because of its application to the game itself. And in some cases, we talk about the example it sets for younger players if the pros are doing it. Okay, so in terms of its application to the game itself, my opinion is there's no difference between a hitter who's on steroids and its effect on the game or a pitcher using a foreign substance and his effect on the game. That's what my opinion is right now. Now, let me see what you say about it. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one step further for you. So if this is making your radar go beep, 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 then listen, because I got something for you. Jason on Facebook said it is still cheating, enhanced cheating, stealing signals, loaded bats. Okay, we talk about loaded bats, all this kind of stuff. Keep in mind, there have always been rules in place in baseball. Pitchers aren't supposed to use these foreign substances and all this kind of stuff outside of pine tar and all this to get a better grip on a baseball or, blowing on your hand. We talked about that yesterday in the college rules, okay? There are rules for everything. Joy on Facebook said both are examples of cheating. Micah in Batesville on the Country Pleasing text line. They are both still forms of cheating. Nick says, foreign substances don't allow a guy to heal and play 5 more games. You're exactly right, Nick. But it would also be true to say that foreign substances can help some pitchers to play 1 or 2 more seasons than they normally would if they were throwing a baseball with less spin rate. That's also true. Why do pitchers do it? Get people out, get more swings and misses, bigger contracts, play a little longer. That's also true. Jam 2432 said, in the end, both are illegal and are equally wrong. Talking about, illegal in terms of the rules of the game, right? Because they're not both illegal in terms of send you to jail or have to go stand in front of Congress. Hog Jowl says, probably no difference to me. It's similar to which is worse, a white lie or a big lie. Cheating is cheating, lying is lying. Gatorman says, altering the equipment is what I think you're looking for, Brojo. And how about JB? How many nicknames you got, JB? You got JB, Brojo, Jables. What else am I leaving off? Doctor.
My wife calls me Big Stupid sometimes.
I guess that could go as your 5th. Your 5th nickname. Okay, so Gatorman says,
used to call me Dairy Queen.
Why is that?
Brazier Foods. My last name Brazier.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say in your basketball career they called you 7-Eleven because you were always open.
There you go. Well, first guy that crossed half court with the ball was shooting. I never saw a shot I didn't like. And that roar you just heard is from all the people I played
with. Like, oh, yes, Lord. They called him Fog. Why? Because he'd fog it up from anywhere on the court.
Black hole. Throw it to him and it disappears.
Gatorman said, altering the equipment. Okay, so he's saying that what you were touching on is altering the equipment versus the other. DB said, speaking of cheating in baseball, what happened to the good old days of the corked bat? Yeah, if we have those, I don't see them anymore. Right? Scott said, any way you look at it, cheating is cheating. Fuji Sports Shooter weighing in. There's no difference in the sense that cheating is cheating. I think juicing the ball is considered more acceptable by some fans because it is an old school method of cheating and part of the history and lore of the game. And then someone said, please explain how steroids improve hand-eye coordination. That's the number one attribute of a good hitter. Now, it doesn't improve that, but if strength and musculature, along with flexibility, which steroids can improve, can help you get the barrel of the ball with that hand-eye coordination a little more often and a little quicker, now we got a difference. And like someone said earlier, it'd take that guy with that extra bit of hand-eye coordination and put him on the field for more games because he's not hurt as much and sore and all that. So, there's just always angles as to why it helps him out. Lynn said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Oh, and I'm about to be on the water at Sardis. Ooh, you better hang on, Lynn. Hang on to your hat.
Yeah, one of the texters was asking, would I consider a cork bat? Yeah, man. When I played softball back in my mid to late 20s, we would take the insides of golf balls and put them inside aluminum softball bats. Mm-hmm. Add a little extra punch. Mm-hmm. But it was trouble getting all the rubber bands off those golf balls.
I bet. Fuji Sports Shooter said steroids can also, quote unquote, alter your equipment. Come on now. Come on now. All right, here's why I'm telling you that. Story today. Isn't that funny? Story today. In an attempt to crack down on the use of foreign substances on baseballs for the upcoming season, Major League Baseball will inspect balls taken out of play, analyze spin rate data, and increase monitoring of dugouts and clubhouses. The new policies outlined in a memo obtained by ESPN today and sent to all 30 teams today are ultimately meant to help level the playing field for hitters, which should increase balls that are put in play, according to a source. Substances on baseballs like pine tar can increase spin rate, which leads to more strikeouts and less action on the field. If a pitcher's normal spin rate, measured in revolutions per minute, how do they measure it? Computers, lasers, guns, cannons, that whole thing. The TrackMan, they do it. It's real. It's a real thing. If a pitcher's normal spin rate increases significantly, the league may investigate whether the player is doctoring balls. Baseball is taken out of play, both randomly and prioritized. What does that mean? They can target whoever they want. If they exhibit signs of foreign substances, those baseballs will be inspected by a third-party lab, according to the memo. Balls will be tracked back to whomever was pitching when they were taken out of play. Folks, I want you to listen to this. This is no little thing in baseball. I'll be honest with you. I'm all for it. I love it. Because, a lot of us, it's, especially Major League Baseball, is at times a little harder to watch, right? Because there are less baseballs that get hit. Less balls get put in play. It's a home run strikeout game. We're watching swings and misses and swings and misses and strikeouts and pitchers dominating, and then all of a sudden a flurry of boom, gone, boom, gone. And so basically a lot of the games are reduced to watching guys swing and miss, and then guys round the bases every now and then when they hit a home run. Okay, so it's the big hit or nothing, all or nothing, right? Well, it has resulted in lack of audience. The audiences have kind of backtracked. There's been fewer people there. The ratings, they're trying to get the ball in play more often. You can go back and do the research. Trust me on this. Go back and look at the end of the 1950s and research, if you want to look it up. owners and people that ran Major League Baseball back then in the late 50s began to, I guess late 50s, early 60s, began to do some things to alter hitters. Maris and Mantle and these guys were just smashing all these previous records. And back then, late 50s, early 60s, everybody held Babe Ruth and Gehrig and all these guys so dear, and DiMaggio and his hit streak, they held them in such high esteem. They didn't want anybody hitters coming along and breaking those. They thought that'd be bad for baseball. So you know what they did? Listen closely. You know what they did back then? I know we're talking 40, 50 years ago. They worked with umpires to expand the strike zone, to make the strike zone bigger, to give pitchers a little more off the edge of the plate and a little more up and a little more down. And you know what it led to? Immediately, a little bit bigger strike zone, immediately back then, 60s, led to a period of time where guys like Sandy Koufax came along and pitchers dominated the game. One little change here and there, one little tweak here and there can make a big difference when you take something away from a pitcher or give something to a hitter. So, telling you, pay attention. This is no little thing to me, and I'm ready for it. If you'll stick with me for a few more minutes, I'm going to give you 2 more pieces of information to add to this layer of this story that just came down the pipe today from ESPN, what Major League Baseball is doing to crack down on pitchers using foreign substances on the mound to get more spin. 2 more pieces of information, and it's going to knock you back in your chair a little bit. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
There's a lot of noise.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if you know who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy bird's eye. Better buy bird's eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's.
Not bald, he's just taller than his hair is.
Nice hair!
It's the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and worldwide online at thezone1059.com.
All right, here we go. Rolling along with you here on this Hump Day in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio. So I got a couple things here I'm now about to throw at you on this whole thing. The story that came down, Major League Baseball says, and sent a note today to all 30 Major League teams, going to crack down on foreign substances being used by pitchers to improve the spin rate. All right. We don't have time. It'd actually be boring to really try to go deep dive here on a live radio show and all the ins and outs of spin rate and all this kind of stuff. Okay. But just stay with me on that, because we started with this about how, steroids, we know what a big deal this is. Steroids, unfair advantage, what is it? Performance enhancing drugs these guys are ingesting or being shot up with and all this kind of stuff. What's the difference between that and doctoring a baseball or doctoring your hand to have a tremendous advantage on the mound? Well, I think when you start really looking at numbers and analytics, which you got to think about this, up until 2015, they didn't even track stuff like spin rate off the pitcher's, out of the pitcher's hand. But they've been tracking it ever since. And the data's starting to pile up. Okay. So anyway, we'll get into that. We will get into it. And I've got some of your texts on the subject coming up as well. But first, though, and this is baseball related, I just want to real quick tip my cap. One of my favorite hats, by the way, from the Mississippi State University Golf Course. They are at Hail State GC on Twitter. 325-3028. Give them a call. I tip my cap to the Golden Eagles from Southern Miss. To the top. They went over and won a midweek game against the SEC last night in Tuscaloosa. Southern Miss went into Tuscaloosa. They beat Alabama in baseball, had a one-run win on the road, 5-4. Southern Miss wins last night in Tuscaloosa. It was their fourth win in a row because they swept Missouri State over the weekend. It's the ninth win in the last 10 games for Southern Miss. They're hot as a firecracker. And they better be, because Louisiana Tech coming in there this weekend. Conference USA playing La Tech's pretty doggone good. So, hats off. Big win for Southern Miss in midweek baseball last night. All right. So on the cheating subject, foreign substances, Major League Baseball says they're going to crack down. Saints fan SB09 says stealing signals was old school, not punished, until technology became a tool to improve it. It became cheating, and that's a good point. Dave said, do you think Major League Baseball should go to computerized calls of balls and strikes, or keep the human effect with the umpires calling the game? I'm not there yet, Dave, but I'm also so wishy-washy on it that I don't have a real strong opinion one way or the other. They're going to experiment with robo-umps in minor league baseball this year. We talked about that a couple of days ago, so we may be getting closer to that stuff than we realize. And RLD on YouTube wishing everybody a happy Wednesday. Around here called it Hump Day. And Jason, beat Alabama 5-4. Texas A&M lost to Rice 2-1. How about that? So Ole Miss, a win last night. What was it, 5-2, I think, over Central Arkansas for them. So they just kind of continue to roll on, but a big win for Southern Miss. All right, coming to your text in a minute, but here's what I wanted to give you. I want you to think about something and listen closely. You can go see this for yourself. I don't know who is behind this. I don't know the guy's name. It's a fairly new account on YouTube. The name of the account of the channel is called Baseball Doesn't Exist, which is a really stupid name. Okay. But somebody sent me a link. This is a couple months ago of a video that was in there, and I watched it, and I was pretty fascinated. Whoever's behind this, they do a good job. Okay. They don't waste any time. And there's a lot of words in this, but I'm going to play you a clip from one of the recent videos that's on this YouTube channel called Baseball Doesn't Exist. They go deep dive into the story of pitchers doctoring their hands and fingers, foreign substance on a baseball to get this tremendous advantage, how it has blossomed into a, frankly, it's a huge part of this just combative rivalry between Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer, two major league pitchers. And Garrett Cole, I think he's now at the Yankees, is a big reason, I think, individually himself behind why baseball is doing what they're doing. Let me give you an example. Here's clip number 1 from a video that's on that YouTube channel called Baseball Doesn't Exist. Listen closely.
But there is real reason to believe that the foreign substance used now is nothing like what was used before, and this is all thanks to the evolution of spin rate. Before 2015, spin rate wasn't even tracked during Major League Baseball games, and a few years before that, it was a term most baseball players hadn't even heard of. Before spin rate was constantly obsessed over by players, coaches, scouts, and front offices, foreign substances were used by pitchers mostly just to get a better grip. Pitchers felt like they had better control of their pitches when using it. And since most batters would rather not constantly fear getting hit in the face, they mostly had no problem with it. But thanks to high-speed cameras, sabermetrics, and a bunch of other nerdy gadgets, baseball players are using foreign substances for completely different reasons. The longer the ball sticks to the finger during release, the more the ball will spin. A fastball with a higher spin rate will make the ball appear to rise. If it is a breaking ball with a higher spin rate, the ball will drop and cut in a sharper, more deceptive fashion. So basically, foreign substances today have very little to do with control and a lot more to do with making the ball move as much as possible in an unpredictable way. In a way, foreign substances are used for the complete opposite reason of control. In fact, hit by pitches are at an all-time high, and walk rate continues to rise every single year and is also almost at an all-time high. So yeah, the old notion that pitchers using pine tar actually helps batters because pitchers have more control makes even less sense now.
Okay, that's just one clip. So pine tar, but then they take it a step further. Then it becomes something other than pine tar, but there's some nuggets in there. In Major League Baseball with TrackMan stuff, prior to 2014, they're tracking launch angle, home run stuff, speed off, but they weren't tracking spin rate out of the pitcher's hand. And then they start tracking it, and then they start noticing stuff. The stats start just overwhelmingly becoming skewed towards pitchers. All the while they're going, foreign substance stuff's going up. They're using it. Spin rates are going up. Swings and misses, strikes are going up. Less balls put in play. Pitchers are hitting more batters. They're walking more, but they're also getting more, what? Swings and misses and strikeouts. Here's some more from that real quick.
Here's an article written in 2018, where both Adam Jones and Bryce Harper are quoted saying that they have no problem with pitchers using it because they feel that it prevents them from getting hit in the face. But as the popularity of spin rate continues to rise and players begin to understand how useful they can be for pitchers, hitters are starting to change their tone. In this tweet, former third baseman Trevor Plouffe basically says that the stuff pitchers are using today is nothing like the stuff traditionally used, like pine tar or sunscreen and rosin. They are products specifically designed for increasing spin rate.
Products specifically designed for increasing spin rate. It's not pine tar. It's not sunscreen. Which leads me to this. This just happened, y'all. Here's a January story from the LA Times. An Orange County Superior Court judge granted a motion by the Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels, and Major League Baseball to dismiss a defamation complaint lawsuit by Brian Harkins, the longtime visiting clubhouse manager for the Angels, who was fired last March after the Angels learned that he was providing a blend of sticky substances to visiting pitchers to aid their grip of the baseball. Y'all, in layman's terms, this guy, everybody around Major League knew this guy was making some stuff that was different. Visiting pitchers came in and asked for it and got it. He sues everybody and says they're using me as a public scapegoat. Everybody does this. Here's the last clip I'm going to play for you from that video.
This is becoming an increasingly bigger issue. People are making videos about it, they're writing articles about it, the MLB has even investigated it, but will they do anything to stop it? Well, the answer is they might have to. Not only do lawsuits like the one led by Bubba Harkins make the MLB look bad, foreign substances could be directly affecting the way the game's played in a way that fans and the league doesn't really want. One of the biggest growing concerns for the MLB is the league-wide strikeout rate that has gone up every year for 14 years straight. This is an insane trend that the MLB would like to change. The league is also experiencing an increase in walk rate and home runs. With more walks and more home runs, the amount of balls in play is extremely low. The MLB has been trying to alter this trend for the last couple years, and this may be the reason MLB finally enforces their rule against foreign substance.
Fast forward to today, Wednesday, March 24th, 2021. In an attempt to crack down on the use of foreign substances on baseballs for this upcoming season, Major League Baseball will inspect balls taken out of play, analyze spin rate data, and increase monitoring of dugouts and clubhouses. They are cracking down because you've finally gotten to a point coming into this year where the data is clear. They're not using pine tar, they're using special stuff made just to get the spin rate up, where you can throw the ball slower, but spin it so much that you get way more spins and misses, and the analytics prove it. And now they're going to work to try to get it out of the game. Now, nobody's going to jail, and I guess none of these pitchers are going to be held out of the Hall of Fame for it, though, are they? Let me know what you think. I'll get to your feedback coming up next in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me.
Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right there's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
On your radio
Right now.
You got the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and online at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you here live in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Let's see what you have to say about it. I'll come to the text line in just a bit. Nick and Law Dog and DB and all y'all coming to your feedback, also on the live stream coming to you. First up, though, on the Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. DJ, who hung on with us through the break there, and appreciate that. DJ, what's up?
Hey, thanks, Matt. Hey, I'm a little bit older than you, but are you old enough to remember the term spitball? Because, back in the early 80s when I pitched, you could put a glob, where you chew bubble gum or tobacco or whatever in the dugout, you could put a glob of spit on one side of the ball and get it to do crazy things. And, back then the umpires were constantly looking to make sure the pitcher wasn't trying to put something from his mouth on his fingers to try to affect the game. So this is something that pitchers have been trying to get away with before. But like I said, I'm with you. I mean, it's definitely a lot of ways. Of course, back in the day, anytime we got a scuffed ball, we didn't want to get rid of it because we knew we could get into these funny things. So it's all these pitchers that want to act, innocent. This is stuff that we were doing 40 years ago without all the technology and substances or whatever. But, back in the day, umpires were a lot more diligent. They looked for the pitcher, see if he was, trying to put spit on his hands or anytime a ball was, so what do you think's going to come of it?
DJ, first of all, yeah, I am old enough to remember the term spitball. I used to hear that when I was a kid. And, it might have been during a broadcast or something. I'd hear somebody say the term spitball. But honestly, I just remember always going, like, I know what spit is. I know it has something to do with the ball, but what is it? As a kid, I never had anybody tell me what you said. Okay, here's what,
basically, it's just a wad of spit from tobacco or chewing gum. You know how it gets real thick.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be disgusting, but you put it on one side of the ball and you get the ball to do funny things.
Okay, well, here's what. Yes, okay, so there is an element of you can get the ball to do funny things, but it goes back to now, if we move all this, even the old spitball stuff, now to the modern era, DJ, the reason the ball will do funny things is because it is spinning more.
Exactly.
So the scientific part of it is something sticky, the right kind of sticky, that will stick that ball to your fingers or to your hand a little longer during the release of the baseball, but release it at the right time and not cause a control issue, will actually cause the baseball to spin more. And so now that everybody is tracking spin rate on pitchers, or they have been in Major League Baseball since 2015, all this data year after year is starting to pile up. Okay, and without boring everybody to sleep with all these numbers, let me just give you one example, DJ, what they have found out. All right. A pitcher, let's say if a guy throws at 90 miles an hour, all right, the data shows that at a 90 mile an hour velocity with a spin rate of 2,600, hitters in Major League Baseball are swinging and missing that pitch a little over 10% of the time. However, listen to this. You can throw one 100 miles an hour. All right? But if the spin rate is only 2,300, hitters actually swing and miss that pitch less, even though they're throwing it 10 miles an hour faster. Does that see?
Right.
That's one statistical example, DJ, that shows me how important the spin rate is. It's like in college, all over the college game, we'll watch a guy who he's not throwing 97, but they can't touch him. He's throwing fastballs and they can't touch him. Well, some guys figure out spin rate. And I'm not saying anybody's using one thing or the other. I'm just saying the spin rate is so important, more important than the velocity sometimes.
Well, I believe that because, I'm too old to pitch, obviously, but I still play golf. And I use a ball that doesn't spin as much because, people go, well, you want your ball to spin on the green. Well, when you're like me, I would rather a ball that don't spin because the more it spins, the more it slices or the more it hooks.
Mm.
So I deal with a little more, less spin. You know how the pros will bring it back on the green because they got a lot of spin rate.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to play with a ball like that because it makes my slice a lot worse, So,
yeah.
But man, hey, love every part of your show, man, and thanks for this segment. Thanks for being part of it.
Appreciate the call, DJ, very much. On the live stream, Jason said, I even heard that pitchers use clear nail polish to harden their fingernails so they can grip the ball, get more spin. Maybe so. And Jimmy was saying that if Major League Baseball really cared about cheating, the penalties would be stiff enough to discourage it. Talking about cheating just increases talk about baseball. It's entertainment. And that's, I think there's an angle to that. All right, here we go.
Did you ever try Vaseline under the cap?
No, I didn't do any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Did it have an effect, JB, for you throwing a ball?
Yeah, it got me kicked out of the game. I was 13.
Too much.
And I just thought it'd be cool, and I was starting pitching, so I put some Vaseline up under the brim of my cap, and just go to it with your thumb and your forefinger, put it on the ball, and I think it was a foul ball, maybe middle of the first inning.
Okay.
And the umpire reached back to get the ball, and it was. I guess I just put too much on this one.
Let me see that hat, man.
He looked at me and he called me to the plate, called our manager over, and he said, he's gone.
Yeah, that's great. DB, somebody was bringing up hand-eye coordination in relation to steroids earlier too, JB. So DB said, if you're already in Major League Baseball, you got no problem with hand-eye coordination. Now that's, hey, excellent point. Law Dog says, with regard to cheating, my dad always told me you can rationalize anything. Yeah. Hey, well, we're just using pine tar to throw the ball because it helps us control it more so we don't hit the hitters. We don't hit the batters in the face with it. Yeah. Oh, uh-huh. Okay. Is that what it is? Right. How about this? You don't use pine tar, and if you hit a guy with, two guys in a game, what's the rule? You hit two or you hit three batters in a game, you're out of there. I mean, we've already got a rule for that. This says, so what about pitchers that use steroids to get more velocity? Yeah. What about pitchers who use both?
You know, on my text message, did when he sent that text, did a picture of Roger Clemens come up? Because it did on my screen.
Oh, did it? Yeah. Hey, well, I get what I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Rocket Roger.
Yeah, he misremembered. He not only misremembered, he made up a new word in front of Congress. I mean, if you look, man, bless his heart. I mean, he's doing the best he can. I understand the position he was in, and he was an unbelievable guy. But if you've ever wanted to see what it looks like when someone is lying, go watch Roger Clemens trying to talk to those people. It was hard. It was a train wreck. Somebody now.
He didn't have a very good poker face, did he?
None. To his credit, none.
Yeah.
All right, this guy says, "I'll take the cheating pitcher over the cheating batter. Who do you like, man? I'm with you every time." Nick said, "No way computers should be calling balls and strikes. Guys like Maddox earned those corners over the years of excellence. Same way MJ and Brady got calls, regular players didn't. I mean, good pitchers do earn calls off the corners, no doubt about it." Squez texted the show, and he said, will attendance be wide open at the Dude this weekend, or will there be a cap on it? Well, I don't think it. I haven't seen anything that just flat out said 100%, Squez. But what I've seen is, I mean, they're just basically making the tickets available to everybody. Now, you can go to the website, hailstate.com. They put that information on there yesterday about how to get general admission tickets to the games this weekend. When they go on sale, starting, Thursday morning at 8 a.m., something like that. And you got to get in online and get them. So I'm not clued into the whole ticket thing, Squez, but I guess what I'm saying is, from my vantage point, I've yet to see anybody go 100% capacity, wide open, whole thing. But all the tickets are available to somebody.
Well, I'll tell you this. There was a guy that came in the course this morning. He'd been up in D.C. visiting his son and daughter-in-law. And I asked him, I said, how are things comparable up there as far as mask and all this? He said, man, they're still, we are wide open down here compared to what they are.
And you said Arkansas?
No, D.C.
D.C., okay.
Yeah, Washington,
okay.
D.C.
That is right, JB. I've talked to some other folks that way. And see, here's the thing. It's like we were talking about yesterday. You can look at Alabama, but there are certain places where I don't know if they haven't done a good job rolling the vaccine out, if they didn't do it, if people didn't get it, if they just had more people. Alabama's got twice as many people as us. But, man, there are some states, including Alabama, they're way behind.
Right.
In
People
getting
can kick us all they want to, but I'm glad I live in a rural state. I really
Me
am.
too. See, in Mississippi, okay, we've got less than 3 million people in the whole state. They did it quickly. The first thing they did, like right away, every doctor, nurse, bam, vaccinated, which is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted to make sure doctors and nurses, y'all get it first, absolutely. And then they start knocking out these demographics. In Mississippi, man, our folks have taken care of us in terms of this vaccine. You know, and it could, who knows? I mean, maybe we have a larger portion of people here who decided not to get it. I don't know. I just know that we're ahead. And so it's interesting. So that was Washington, D.C., though. What's the population up there?
Oh, well, I'll just tell you this. They're all slammed in so close together that there are no such thing as wide open spaces up there.
Right. And frankly, here, there are no such thing as huge, big, crammed-in spaces.
Right.
So we kind of have that made for sure. This has been a really interesting hour. I think it's going to continue because I'm getting a whole bunch of texts and tweets and all kinds of stuff on this subject. And there's more coming in. Some things I hadn't thought about over here on the Country Pleasing text line regarding this.
I'm going to go get me a fingernail file and some Vaseline and steroids, and I'll be
You
back.
just go right ahead and y'all stick around.
5G. We're 5G ready. We're 5G. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand-tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's virtual tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. But you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O instant pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O instant pudding.
Dogs for our nation's veterans. If you're a veteran, or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
WRKS Pickett's Jackson.
Time.
It's time to get back to the Matt Wyatt Show.
Live in the studio.
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Here we go, hour number 2, off and running with you. We talked a lot of baseball in hour 1, but not necessarily results. Taking a look at a story that popped up today. They're gonna crack down on the foreign substance use by pitchers in pro baseball, striking everybody out. We'll see what it does to the numbers. You know, one thing they're trying to do, they've been looking, trying to figure out ways to, inject a little offense into the game and not just the occasional home runs that we get in Major League Baseball. So, the spin rate that's just gone out of sight and the way pitchers are able to use it and the analytics do show how many more swings and misses you get. And I think, well, a lot of that's being caused by foreign substances. So we talked about that in hour 1. And if you missed all that, well, you can go back and listen to it. I'll get it posted later on the podcast. Anywhere you get a podcast, just look for the Matt Wyatt Show, and that'll be up for you. You can get hour 1.
So, Brother Wyatt.
Hey.
I was thinking during the break, I'm wondering if you saw the electrical impulses 3 hours away, but I was thinking, did you play much softball?
Yeah, I mean, well, much. I don't.
Did you ever nuke a softball?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean nuke it?
Put it in the microwave.
No, I thought you meant hit it hard and knock it out of the park. I had never.
Oh yeah.
No, I've never put one in a microwave.
Yeah, we'd put them in the microwave. You got to furnish 3 softballs per team. So
what'd you do that for?
Makes the core swell, so it goes longer.
Really? And let me just put it to you this way.
It was church softball team.
Let me just put it to you this way.
Yeah.
Now, here I'm going to get up on my stump for just a second.
Yeah, go ahead. I was hoping you would.
if anybody out there feels like they need to bake a softball in order to be able to hit it out of the park, then maybe you ought to try something else. Because it ain't that hard to hit a softball over the fence at most of these parks that you play in.
Well, they're all, about 300 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. No, but it was our manager. He was about 5'5".
Looking for
so does that explain it?
Looking for every advantage you could get. That's pretty funny. Nuking your softballs. Just don't get them mixed up. Man.
Well, and I'll tell you this. He messed up one time because he left one in the microwave too long.
Yeah.
Had to get a new microwave.
Really?
It destroyed it.
Oh, really? It blew up?
It absolutely destroyed it.
You know what's going to happen, JB. We got some rednecks out here that are walking out to the shed right now to see if they got a softball laying out there. Okay.
Yeah, you just got to look at the laces, and when it starts to expand, the laces and the leather of the ball.
Get it out.
And you can see the court, you need to get it out.
When it starts whistling smoke, open it, turn it off and get it out of there. No, I never nuked a softball.
Yeah, that was
not in that way.
That was back in the mid-'80s.
I tell you what I did do one time. We were playing in a softball game in college. We said, get these teams up. I guess it was intramural, whatever. But anyway, my roommate, offensive lineman on our football team, Paul Mooney, he was playing first base, and I was playing shortstop. And there were 2 outs in the inning. Pay attention, you diamond heads out there. You got to be thinking about every situation, right? All right. Runner on first, 2 outs. How many outs do we need if there's 2 outs? We only need 1. He's playing first. I'm at short. Ball gets hit back up the middle, right past the pitcher's foot. I go over, field the ground ball right next to the bag, where I can feel the ground ball, step on the bag. I turn 2.
Unassisted DP.
No, but listen, we didn't need 2 outs.
Yeah, but it's fun to do anyway.
We only needed 1 out. When I stepped on the bag, the inning was over. I proceeded to come up firing. When
Don't tell me you hit the dude.
When Paul, my roommate, saw me field the ground ball at second base and knew I was going to step on the bag, he went ahead and turned around and started walking to the dugout.
Oh, no.
So when I raised up and, 3/4 release, threw it. It's headed right for him, and he's not even looking. He's headed towards the dugout.
Oh, no.
Everybody starts screaming, look out, look out, look out, look out.
Heads up.
And he couldn't
I've
even,
never understood that saying anyway.
all he did was freeze, and the ball hit him squarely in the middle of the back. And it was as hard as I could throw a softball. And I'm not bragging, but I got a really good arm. And I'm talking about that poor dude had a web. You ought to have seen the red spot. You can
put
see
seams on him?
And the seams and the red spot in the middle of his back, like on the meaty part of his big fat back.
And this is the guy that's like 3/4 torso, right?
Yeah, he's 6'8" and weighed about 310 then.
Lord.
Big old guy, and Paul, we play at softball, slow pitch softball, right? And it's almost like impossible not to hit it if you swing. Okay, slow pitch softball. And he gets up there.
You hadn't played with some of the people I've played with.
Well, it should be. Let me put it. Let me give you another piece of advice. If you're playing slow pitch softball and you swing and miss, quit. Leave. Let me give you some more advice. If you're playing slow pitch softball and you are taking pitches trying to walk, quit. Find something else. Go do jigsaw puzzles. Can't stand that. Church league, we're out here trying to have fun, and you're up there taking pitches. We got our minister of music out here pitching, and he's 68 years old. He's trying his best to throw it up there so you can hit it and have a little fun, and you think it's cool to take pitches and walk. You need to quit. And go play.
I love the softball tournaments where you go to the plate with a 2-1 count already.
Oh, yeah.
You ever played in tournaments like that?
No, trying to roll you through there a little quicker?
Yeah, it encourages you to swing the bat.
There you go. Anyway, I don't know how we got off on this.
That's a good rant. If you can't hit the softball, go home.
It's slow pitch. Okay? They designed this whole sport around people who are unathletic. That's why they made the sport of slow pitch softball. So that everybody can hit it. It's if they didn't do that, what would we do? We'd be playing baseball. But what happened? At some point. Now, I'm not talking about high school girls. That's not what I'm talking about. I know they did away with the slow pitch deal. That's not what I'm talking about. For kids or whatever, that's different. I'm talking about the adults, okay? They go, let's play baseball. Well, we don't need to have a church league baseball league because, number one, somebody could get hurt with that little hard little ball. Okay, let's get a big soft ball. All right, check. And number two, if we play baseball, some people ain't going to be able to hit the ball. Okay, let's lob the softball up there as softly as possible so that they can hit it. See, that the idea of adults doing this is a whole reason we have that sport. It's because we're not going to do baseball because you might get hurt and you can't hit it. So we are letting you hit it. It's the whole purpose of the sport of church league softball. And you are trying to walk. I got no patience for it. Made a fool out of myself in a church league softball game. This is probably 16 years ago. But we're playing a team, and we had this, an old gentleman on the mound out here pitching, and this team is putting people up there and they're taking pitches. They want to walk. And I'd had enough, and I screamed at them. I'm talking about in front of both teams and umpires and everybody. Screamed at them. I'm playing shortstop. What y'all doing? Trying to walk. We're out here to have some fun. Swing the bat. You could have heard crickets. I get back in position. They throw the next pitch, and the guy goes, pow, and hits one and burned it right past me. A one-hopper right past me at short.
Yeah.
Everybody on the other team's laughing. They're like, run your mouth. And honestly, on the inside, I was like, okay, I'll take it. At least the ball is in play.
Yeah, no doubt.
At least now we're playing a sport. Otherwise, I'm standing out here watching Jimmy struggle to throw you a strike in softball. Anyway, okay, I'm done. Moving on. I'm totally moving on.
Yeah. The only time I've ever been encouraged to walk in softball was a real close buddy of mine in seminary. We were playing a traveling team. and we're down by like 6 runs going into the bottom of the 7th, and he says, "Everybody walk." Well,
I'd have quit.
I'm like, "What do you mean everybody walk?" He said, "Take 2 strikes and then hit. But if you get, you know what I'm saying. We're looking to put people on base, so we get a couple runs in, get a couple key hits, and we're down by I think 4, and I'm up, and it's 3-0, and this guy just served me up a lovely pitch, and I turned on it. As I turned on it, I heard him go, "No!" and I hit it, and it went out. And when I rounded third, he said, "You better be glad it went out."
What was he going to do to you?
That's right. That's what I told him. I said, "What are you going to do?"
What are you going to do? I mean, even if I didn't, what are you going to do? You going to take me out here and give me 10 lashes? I mean,
with a wet noodle. I have never understood why people want to walk in softball.
No, I don't either.
All right, I didn't mean to get you sidetracked this first 10 minutes of the second.
I have no idea
but
what
I just
we
thought
were
about
going to talk about.
Baking a softball, that's the same thing as cheating by doctoring the baseball or corking the bat or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. It's something that is against the road. But here's the thing about it. Like,
disingenuous to the game.
But here's the thing about it, JB. Nobody's paying y'all on a church league team, okay?
No.
Nobody's paying. No. People are out there for a little exercise enjoyment anyway, okay? I got news for you. If somebody on that other team was all fired up about going and winning the league championship, can't wait to hold up the church league trophy, and they're mad at you because you baked your softball, you know what? They can just get right over it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
In reality. All right,
that
RLD.
Sounds like Mr. Bewley saying to everybody right before the tip-off of a game, "Hey, by the way, guys, there are no NBA scouts here today for this church basketball game."
They ain't here. I mean, let's get this thing situated in terms of reality. RLD Studio on the live stream over on YouTube said, "I was playing competitive softball about 20 years ago. A big dude from Home Depot hit a line drive to me at shortstop. I caught the ball and broke my knuckle through the glove. How about that? How about that?" Injuries in competitive softball. White Denzel says, "Matt, you didn't read it yesterday, but Pillsbury, who is a client of mine, has released blueberry canned biscuits. Let the homecoming queen know that. It goes great with country please and maple sausage, by the way." You know what I wonder? I wonder, Denzel, if those blueberry canned biscuits would be good to throw a little tweak into this monkey bread that everybody makes. They take the cans of biscuits and they do it in the
cinnamon stuff.
Yeah, and they turn it over, with the and they use the biscuits. But I wonder if that would be a nice little tweak to that. I tell you what else. Another text that I didn't read yesterday, I got in big trouble for. Reservoir Dog texted the show, and we were talking about ratings for NCAA basketball. They are up. They're good, not necessarily up, but very good. And that the parity in March Madness is a big reason why people are watching. He texted with a text yesterday about soccer. And the point was that in Major League Soccer, they have parity too. And so he watches it. Well, I saw the word soccer, and I'm like, you're reading the text about soccer. And I said that on the air.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm not reading the text about soccer. It's a waste of my breath. Well, number one, I should not have said that. And it was very obtuse.
Your show.
Well, and I really got in trouble for that, for being rude. So I got nothing against soccer. As long as it leaves me alone, I'll leave it alone. Squez says, what if I buy tickets from another website? Talking about the baseball tickets? Yeah, I just don't know, Squez. I'm really sorry that I don't have, ticket information or anything. I don't know about tickets. Fuji Sports Shooter said, excited to be sitting at Duty Noble on Friday night and watching the number 2 and number 3 teams in the nation square off. I bet you are. I mean, it's going to be a great series one way or the other. Coffee Norman said that he would say even with no foreign substances involved, the advantage always leans to the pitcher. Look at what's considered a good batting average, 300. You got a guy throwing 90-plus at times, keeping the same arm action, throwing at 75, and then some nasty breaking balls mixed in there. Come on, pitchers, give a batter a break. Yeah, That's it. Well, see, and the thing to me is this, back to the foreign substance deal. If you're just joining, Major League Baseball announced today, and they sent a memo to all 30 teams, they're going to be supposedly this year cracking down on pitchers using foreign substances. It makes the spin rate go. They all use it. It's why. But now it's gone past the whole pine tar, sneaking a little of that in there. They've got special things being made that it's easy to hide, but it's just the right stickiness and all this kind of stuff. But the problem is it's not only striking out more batters, it's hitting more batters. Walks and hit by pitches are up. So it's gone from sticky substance, helps me get more spin, but it's sticky, I can control the ball, to it's maybe now a more slippery substance, and we are not controlling the baseball as much, and we are hitting more guys. I think that contributed to them wanting to, crack down on it. Now, whether or not they do or are able to remains to be seen. Woodrow said, not trying to disparage, but is baseball the most cheated major sport? Steroids, Astros, now pitching anomalies. Sounds like a lot of cheating going on. The other sports have their moments, but it always feels like baseball is embroiled in another cheating scandal. I would certainly say, compared to everything else, it has had his fair share of cheating scandals for sure. Flowtown Ghost said, most cheating you'll ever see is church league ball, and that's a fact.
Most bad attitudes you'll see. It's a bunch of Joey Bells out there.
JB confirmed it.
Yeah, church league softball is the most unchristian thing they ever invented.
I broke my hand in a church league game when I was really young. It's the reason I'm in plenty good shape right now to play church league basketball, church league softball, any of that. I just ain't going to do it because my hyper competitiveness that drove me in sports and athletics throughout my entire life has not gone anywhere. It's still there. My body and stuff can't do what it used to do, and that's a problem when the mental doesn't match the physical. But anyway, many years ago, just give you an example of how once the game starts, Matt's on a different planet. When I went to the plate in softball, I expected to do whatever I wanted to do with the ball every time. And a lot of times it did, but I expected to do whatever I wanted to do with the ball. We need a home run? I hit a home run. We're out of home runs? All right, I'll rattle the fence. What do we need to do? So I go up, and it was a situation where I didn't do what I wanted to do. I popped up. To me, this side of missing the ball in slow pitch softball, the next worst thing is a pop up. Okay. And I did it. And I got down to first base and they caught my pop up, and I was so mad that I had done that. And out of frustration, I just reached down and bam, balled my fist and punched the first base bag. Like, dang it, bam, punched it. Well, the first base bag was concrete.
Oh, Lord.
It was solid concrete. It wasn't a soft bag. It wasn't air, it was a bag poured over concrete. And when I hit it, bam, as hard as I could punch it, I got a boxer's break right across the hand. So the three bones that lead to your back three fingers just broke right across there. I learned a lesson then, and the lesson was this: Matt, you are the problem. That was the lesson I learned. Reddy Teddy said, at the old Broadmoor Baptist Church, the field was so small, if you hit it out, you were out, unless you hit between two light poles about 20 feet wide and dead center. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? So they treated it like making a field goal.
Yeah, you had, and that was a fun way to play, because the
I bet it was
like 200 down the line, maybe 220, but in center field. But yeah, you had to hit it through these two poles, and if you didn't, you were see ya. Have a seat.
I'll tell you this now. If you wanted to tell me, okay, we're not going to raise the difficulty in softball, church league softball, of actually making contact, but we are going to, at these parks, we're going to put up landmarks that if you can hit it you benefit more. Or the only way you hit a home run is between these two poles in center field. Now, I could go for that.
Mm-hmm.
Dad of Squest says, I agree, Matt. Hit the ball. I will disagree with you on easy to hit. He said, you never batted against Wayman pitching for Sowell Farms back in the day. Is it Sowell or Sowell? I'll just have to take your word for it, Squest. He's lobbing the ball to you.
I tell you what, though, there's an art to those
No,
pitches,
there's not.
If you get them flat, Matt, they're a lot easier to hit than those balls that are coming in with an arch on them. Come on now.
Totally disagree.
Hey, these phone lines are lighting up. Let me go do my job.
You sit there and tell me there's a trick to pitching in softball to get guys to miss it. It's going so slow. The only way for it to be slower is to sit it on a tee. I mean, don't start with this. JB, he's probably mad at me. DB
No, I'm
said,
not mad at you. No.
I just think not everybody is the same in terms of their skill level of hitting the ball. What I'm saying is no matter who is lobbing that ball up there, whether it's got an arc or whether it's flat, no matter who it is, the only way to pitch it to you slower is to sit it on a tee. I mean, I don't know. You're like, well, it's coming out of the sky. Yeah, time it up. Well, it's coming in there flat. Yeah, put the fat part of the bat on it. It ain't that hard.
If you hit the fat part of the bat, then you'll be fat.
PHAT?
That's it. That's the second time we use it.
Purely hot and tempting. Oh, that's fun. I never thought we'd be talking about church league softball, but here we are. Here we are. Y'all text and call and comment on the live stream. We're coming right to you. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll go for Cheerios. Great way to start the day with really great eating. That's Cheerios, one of the few foods made from oats. The tasty cereal grain everyone should have at breakfast. Crisp and golden as only a toasted oat cereal can be. And nourishing? Why, a Cheerios breakfast gives you the power protein that grown-ups need to help stay in trim and youngsters need to grow on. Toasted oat goodness, toasted oat flavor, a delicious power breakfast. That's Cheerios.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth. Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth. Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O instant pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O instant pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O instant pudding.
sports talk. I'm talking way back. It's the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone.
Man, huge news today at the University of Georgia. Did y'all see this? Now, this is a football nugget, but George Pickens tore his ACL yesterday at Georgia football practice. George Pickens wears number 1 on his jersey, plays wide out. He's a number 1 receiver, big-time player, big-time prospect. And they had to play without him some because of an injury, I guess, at the beginning of last year, then got him back. And I want to say maybe his first game back had been against State, but he had 5 or 6 touchdown catches. But this is a team that they were transformed when JT Daniels took over for them at quarterback. I mean, transformed by his ability to hit the deep ball over and over and over again in the games when they gave it to him. Now, they have other receiving weapons at Georgia, but and he's not the only one, but he's a big-time player. I mean, first of all, you hate it for him because it means now this long recovery, and you're sitting here in late March. So, I mean, you're practically into the 4th month of the year, and he's out. That is just terrible news for him and for Georgia. It really is. Not like they have a shortage of players, but he was a big part of what they were going to do. So just a reminder, your teams are practicing. Ole Miss started spring practice yesterday. State is underway. And everybody out there, you got to get the work in, especially after everything missed last year. Develop players, all that, trying to make up time. But, boy, injuries. You really hope everybody's able to steer clear of that. Okay, let's spend a little time with each other now on the Davini phone. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S., in fact, right here at home. Davini Equipment, 995-1059. Several hanging on. We'll start with Real C. Appreciate you being patient, Real C. What's up?
My man.
Yo.
You're talking about something I love, and that's some slow pitch softball. Let me give you 2 real quick stories, and one of them is, it's very ironic that old Dr. Brojo is talking about church league softball and cheating. Ask him about his old Calvary slow pitch team that I played on for a little while with old Jarvis Chapel and Dunlap and all that bunch. We got banned from the league because none of us knew where Calvary Baptist Church was.
Yeah, so much for attending Sunday school or worship once a week.
You never want to be asked, well, where's that church at? Talked about the polls at Broadmoor. We played in a tournament one time up in Yazoo City. There's Saxtons all over Yazoo City, and one of them owned a scrapyard. But he had a softball field out in the middle of the scrapyard. We played in this tournament, a throw-together tournament. It was a fundraiser kind of deal for it. But the deal was, if you hit a home run and it hit a car in the scrapyard, he'd give you the title to the car.
Really?
That's what I want, a car in the scrapyard.
Yeah, that you can't drive home.
No,
that was his way of getting you
a favor than he was doing you.
That's exactly right. You were doing him a favor by hauling that crap off somewhere. That's great. It's brilliant.
There was a real cheery moss green duster out there that I had my eyes on, but thankfully I didn't hit the turd.
That's great.
Anyway, y'all be good.
Thank you for the call. How about that? Calvary team, and none of them go to Calvary.
Well, I think the Chapel brothers did at the time.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah. Jarvis just happened to also be a representative for a major softball sports equipment provider.
Right. And he just, bless his heart, he was just needed a team to play so he could display his talent.
He got the best he could get. I tell you that.
All right, Jason out in Flagstaff, Arizona, hanging on. What's up, Jason?
Not nothing much. Y'all were talking about church league softball being unchristian. I remember when I was in high school, one of my jobs was a scorekeeper for the city of Greenville. Worked all kind of softball games, tournaments for high school girls, and City League had a whole bunch of beer distributor teams, and the only tournament where we ever had a fight was church league. It was just ridiculous. They'd get all worked up, and then they'd start fighting, or the fans would start fighting, and nobody else ever did that.
What kind of fight? Like a real good one, or just pushing and shoving?
No, there were a few that were that were pretty ugly.
Well, while I've got you on, Jason, I was going to read this. It popped up over here on the Facebook feed from Keith. Keith said, I've actually seen a church league softball fist fight. Double Springs ball field in Webster County. A guy got hit with a bat also. Terrible situation.
Goodness.
I
don't
know.
recall anything that bad.
I know. I'm telling you.
But, you know, y'all were talking about injuries, too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one thing. I don't know if they still do this or not, but they used to have the bases that had the long metal spike that went into the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And there were a couple, like almost every year, when somebody would slide into one of those things and they would break their foot off, like OFT off, because they didn't know how to slide, and they would just go right into that thing with their feet hanging out, and it would just ankles.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll hang up and listen. Thank y'all.
It would just fold them up. Thanks for the call, Jason. Sven is over in Germany. He lives in Berlin. He said, we play third league baseball and softball here in Berlin at Skylarks. He said, if you ever visit Berlin, come and enjoy a game or two. You're all welcome. We have handcrafted bratwurst and a good old German beer. How about that, Sven? Thanks for the invitation. Y'all hear that? All of you. If you listen to this show, you can go over there and catch some softball in Berlin with Sven. When I was playing football in Germany, 2000, we had this charity thing where they took a bunch of us off the football team, and we went, there was this USA women's fast pitch softball team going around putting on a show in different places and playing games, and they did this charity thing, and there was a bunch of people out of the field, and they had us out there trying to hit off the fast pitch pitcher, and played a little game and stuff. It was funny, but I don't think anybody ever got even a piece of the pitch.
I love fast pitch softball. We
It's
played a little bit. Church, we had when I was serving down in Baton Rouge, there was a men's fast pitch league.
really.
And that was fun.
It's fun to watch. I'll tell you that much. I
Tell you
really.
what, it's hard to hit that. It's hard to hit that fast pitch softball.
I bet it is. Did you see the highlights of when Jenny Finch was trying to pitch to Albert Pujols here over the last few years? And like he couldn't hit it.
No,
I mean,
I'd be
'cause it-
distracted too if she was pitching to me.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful.
Mhm.
But no, hey, look, it's
Oh,
fun
she plays
to watch.
softball?
Look, the reason that softball is fun to watch, to me, fast pitch softball, everything is so fast paced. I mean, the field's a little smaller. It's a shorter distance mound to plate. The ground balls get gobbled up faster. The throws, I mean, it's all so quick. This game just goes fast. I enjoy watching it. All right, Davini Equipment phone, Dog79. Thanks for calling, Dog. What's up?
Hey, Matt. Sounds like you might not start having the second hour be the softball hour.
Hey, you know what? Maybe so. That might. Maybe we have found
Especially
our
this time of year.
we found our audience. Yeah, it's JB and all his friends who used to cheat and blow up softballs in a microwave.
That's right. Anyway, I got a quick one. One of the last tournaments I played in, it was actually Salvation Army men's camp. They had a home run derby afterwards, and they had different age groups. Well, I guess they didn't think it through real well because they let the younger guys go first, and by the time we got up there, it was 10 o'clock or so, getting a little cool in the air, and so my buddy behind the backstop, when I walked up, going check his ID, and then when I took my first swing, I felt a twang in my back, and I reached for it, and I said, "Oh, he's okay." But the thing was, the trophies they gave out, our group, I guess, was 55, 65 was over the hill, and then the group above us, they called Bound for Glory.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope that's all of us.
That's great.
Yeah. That's right. Hey, I had some guys out there 65 then that could have run me in the ground, I guarantee you.
That's great. Bound for Glory. They could have
Down for glory.
Closer to glory. Yeah, on the banks.
Yeah.
Meaning you're about to cross the river. That's great.
That's right.
Good stuff, Dog 79. Thanks for the call.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, you may be onto something. We got the casserole hour in the third hour. Maybe this time of year we just, second hour is the softball hour. We even have guests on here. We ask them softball questions, metaphorically. Michael, thanks for hanging on patiently on the Davini Equipment phone line. What's up, Michael?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Yo.
It's just another beautiful sunny day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sunny here, thank goodness. It's not going to be that way tomorrow, though.
No, well, yeah. Well, I was going to tell you, I want to comment. Before I get into Mississippi State baseball, I wanted to comment on a.
Hey, and Michael, I'm gonna warn you. You got about 1 minute. Music's going to start real soon.
Okay.
In fact, it has already started. So go quick.
All right. In that case, we'll just go straight to baseball. Man, it's going to be such a huge weekend when the Pigs come in. We're going to continue the trend from 16 when we swept them, and then opposite, then 18 we swept them. We're going to sweep them this year, and then we're going to reverse the trend next year. And Bulldogs, I expect, will be making a push to be number one in the country. And as Steve Robertson said one time, just being number one in the country on the last game of the season is all that matters.
That's it.
Amen.
Amen, Michael. You got to play your best at the end of the year when it matters the most. Good call, Michael. Appreciate you being patient, and thanks for getting it in quickly there. Rolling along with you here in hour 2 of the show. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Stay with me.
Are you After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy.
With playoff caliber sports talk, it's the Matt Wyatt Show. 3 minutes for your life right now. On 105.9 The Zone.
All right, a little ways to go here in hour number 2 with you on this Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Call me, text me, comment on the live stream. Lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. Hope you'll do that. Let's see here. Lots of text that I didn't get to just a bit earlier. Bulldog JT texted the show, and he said they don't let you run the bases when you hit home run anymore in church league. Oh, you don't get the victory trot. You just hit the home run and what? Go back to the dugout and they put a run on the board or 2 or 3 runs? What about if the bases are loaded? Those guys got to run the bases. You might as well run behind them. Leon said, Matt, I couldn't stand the guy in slow pitch softball who thought he had a special touch on his pitches with all the crazy mannerisms. Dude, just toss the freaking ball. I agree. Well, I mean.
You talked about the 68-year-old guy you had on the mound?
Yeah.
When I was
in Dallas,
by the way. Well, when I was in Dallas, we had a guy that his first name was Galen. He had played center for Baylor in the mid-50s, and he was our pitcher. Mm-hmm. And he was probably pushing 60 at that point in time. But man, he was tough as my grandfather would say, a ladder knot. And one afternoon, we were playing in a tournament, and some big old joker just smoked a line drive at him, and I swear it hit him right in the sternum. And it went, thump, and you could hear him go, whoo! And he dropped over and picked up the ball and threw it to first base and dropped to one knee. And I'm playing shortstop, so I rush in real quick. I said, Galen, you all right? He goes, no. I said, are you sure? He goes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it, man. We had to call the ambulance.
Really? He didn't pass out or anything, did he?
No, but he thought he was having a heart attack.
Heart attack?
That's why I never pitch. I pitched one time in softball and broke my pinky on my glove hand because the guy hit a line drive so hard at me it flipped my glove backwards and broke my pinky. Never again did I pitch. Slow pitch. I mean, I wouldn't get out there if I was dressed up like those folks that do when they do police canine stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be the only way I'd pitch.
Put you on the big protective suit, give you a pitching protector to stand behind, something along those lines.
Especially in those tournaments when they limit the number of home runs each team can hit.
Because in there,
because once they get the number of home runs, they're just trying to hit it right back up the middle.
Right. That's funny. Rebel Rex said, oh, wow, look, he sent us a fish picture. All right, so he's got a picture here of his wife holding up a largemouth bass they caught in the lake there. And let's see, does he give us a weight? No, he doesn't. I'm going to guess probably a smooth 4. That's probably a smooth 4-pounder right there. It might be bigger. I just can't quite tell by looking at the picture. But he says, this is my wife yesterday they're starting to bite a little better. What did he say here? 1 pickup basketball game, 4-on-4. I was playing guard. Came up the court, saw the opening, fired a hard pass to the guy inside. He never looked, took it in the side of the face. He was open, though. Well, if your pass hit him in the face, I guess he was open. You got to get your head around. Dad of Square says, I'm telling you, Matt, he made the ball dance. He was an artist. Talking about Wayman pitching for Salvo Farms back in the day. Mm-hmm. Squares, I'm just going to be honest with you. It sounds like to me you weren't a very good hitter. That's what it sounds like. Rebel Greg says, Matt, have you heard of the King and His Court? You might want to Google this men's softball team. I've heard about that. Maybe read about it somewhere along the way. Really cool story. Yeah. King and His Court.
Yeah, he's good. It's a good thing to watch. I've watched him a couple times. I thought the guy was dead, to be honest with you.
Oh, they're still going. Okay. Eric says, all I can hear is Glory Days playing in my head. And then he says, shout out to the Ballers, MSU 99 and 2000 intramural softball champs. DeCenzo Miller and Tommy Watson were two of our ringers. Zoe would never stop at first whenever he got a hit. Good times. You know what? Now that you mention it, I think in college I played a softball game against DeCenzo's team, and I think I remember the same thing. DeCenzo, yeah. And he run the bases. There were no such thing as singles for him in softball. Coffee Norman said, Matt, you get one of those high arcing pitchers of slow pitch, and I guarantee you they can get at least one swing and a miss out of me. Nope. Can't do it. And whenever I get a charity, pile up the money, take your bets, whatever, I ain't swinging and missing. You throw it too high, I'll just stand there and watch it because that's goofy. Throw me a pitch. I don't care, arc it, whatever.
Do you ever strike out in softball?
Never.
Never been called out on a pitch you didn't swing?
Never. Look, whenever I played, remember how many years ago, you go to the plate with one thing in mind.
Yeah, you want.
I'm going to swing the bat. It don't have to be a strike. It's slow pitch. It can be over there. It can be over here. I'll hit it.
Yeah. Well, you're 6'12", man.
Let's see here. We got some more softball. This is amazing. This all started with talking about blowing a softball up in a microwave. Ryan on the phone line. It's all right. Has a softball story. What's up, Ryan? Hey, Ryan, we got some feedback there.
I guess I got to turn my radio down. I didn't play softball. My dad played church league softball for a long time, and he played it. He played it up in Starkville, and when he went to state in McGee, and then here in Vicksburg. When he was in McGee, his last year, there's a really good, softball player that had like a really good arm, and I think threw someone out from like center field, and come to find out, that young little guy was Steve McNair.
What? Wow.
Yeah, I think he did have kind of a cannon on it.
I think he had a pretty good arm, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, how about this? Whoever told you that story is telling you the truth. How about that? Yeah. Steve McNair.
Yeah, that was my dad.
Steve McNair gunning people down from center field. I guarantee you that he had the ability to do that. I would love to have seen it. He's one of those. The athletes like McNair and those guys, if McNair had wanted to play basketball, he'd have played in the NBA. If he had wanted to play baseball, he'd have played Major League Baseball. He's like a Deion Sanders kind of guy. If Deion he can just do whatever he wants to do and be great at it. And some guys just every now and then come along that are like that. Ryan, thanks for the story, man. Wayne on the phone line. What's up, Wayne?
Man, I'm trying to make it back from Westbourne, Mississippi.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it today and not tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, that was. But like I said, you were talking about the softball players.
Mm-hmm.
I went over there one time to Clinton, Mississippi, to watch a softball tournament. There was a major whatever,
Mm-hmm.
They got some men over there hit that softball at MC's baseball field. That was just unreal how far they could hit it, how far they could really hit it.
Yeah.
Man, that was just unreal. I got a laugh up there at Mississippi State. yesterday. I went up there to the cheese store.
Yeah.
And I told those girls in there, I said, back the first time when State Southern started playing again, I come in there about 3 weeks later. I went to the game, and 3 weeks later, I had my Southern hat up under my arm. I told them I was come there to get my discount. Oh, we don't give discount on cheese. They said, yeah, you do. I couldn't get the rest of those feathers y'all knocked off of. And you ain't never heard such laughing going on up in there. The manager come out back in the back.
Yeah.
Said, well, y'all gonna tell me what's so funny? And I told him what I said. You know, it was just a good, you know, it was just a joke, you know.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but like I said, but like I said, I told those girls, I said, y'all don't get down on them State lady bulldogs. They're gonna be all right. Anyway, but that still guy hit a softball so dang far, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, those pros.
But anyway, we all.
Yeah, thanks for the call,
Yes,
Wayne.
sir.
Have a good one. Safe travels. Yeah, he's right. You know, I've only caught like a video clip once or twice of these professional guys who, like, these softball bat companies will pay them to put on home run exhibitions. And some of those guys, you know, you watch the videos, they'll go hit them out of major league ballparks, don't they? I mean, just hitting them 400 feet, stuff like that. I think it's the way it looked anyway on the video clips that I saw. Trez texted the show. No, this is T. Biggs. He texted the show and said, my friend got thrown out of a mother versus sons softball game at First Baptist Batesville for continually using profanity.
Oh, no. Oh. Now, I've never been a part of church stuff where profanity was involved, but fisticuffs and yelling and pushing and yeah.
I never even heard of a mothers versus sons softball game.
Yeah, like,
That's great. Not getting thrown out. That's not great, but the idea, I guess. We'll see if the softball topic goes to sleep or not. We'll find out when we come back. If you leave us, I hope you have a great, great evening. If not, stick around. Hour 3 coming up right after this.
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, Percy.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com. A couple weeks ago, went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O instant pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good, busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Everyone in your house knows how to text. Check backup batteries for all your phones and fully charge cell phones, batteries, and rechargers. Sign up.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save.
Studio. Live and local. This is the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at the Zone 1059.com and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
Here we go. Hour number 3 of the show, off and running with you, presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville, Stark Vegas, Starkville, however you want to say it. Y'all head up to Starkville for anything, like if you're moving there permanently, if you're going to need a condo that's yours when you come into town for several weekends out of the year for ball games, something like that. Anything residential, leasing an apartment, it could even be investment property. Trust me. Go see Kane Overstreet. Find out how to get in touch with them at overstreetproperties.com. That's Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Lots of texts to get to. We had a baseball, softball show so far today. We'll see where it goes. And I'm going to start you off on the phone line, on the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. your Kubota dealership. In fact, they're the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. Did you know that? Yeah. So right here at home, Davini has been doing it better, longer than anyone else. All right, 601-995-1059. That's the number, 995-1059. Thibodeau starting us off in hour number 3. What's up, Thibodeau?
Guys, I thought about having some softball conversation, but as the stories kept coming in, I realized that mine are not as good. So, because I was like, man, it's number one, it's hard to get in here this afternoon. The phone's ringing, and I know everybody's on the line, but I started hearing more and more stories. I was like, no, I can't deal with that. I will say, I didn't have the ability to call in the first hour because I had some machines running, but I was listening and, toss back to that for a minute. This whole deal with doctoring the baseball and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in support of this new rule. Just because I really miss leadoff singles and hits in the gap and, trying to hit runners over. And, to me, it's one of the best separations between college and pro baseball is those college baseball teams, even your top 5 in the country right now, they have to play their tails off to actually play the game. It's not just who's going to pitch or who's going to knock them out of the park.
Right.
There's so much more to it. And I'm not saying you never get that in pro ball, but you made the point early on. These guys are striking out or they're hitting it over the fence. That's about it.
Right. That's
or they're walking.
That's it. There's a lot of walks too. See, that's the other thing. Okay, so all the data, if you look over the last 10 years of Major League Baseball, all the data points to more walks. Walks are up, so the ball's not being put in play. We're putting guys on base. Hit batsmen are up. Pitchers are hitting more guys with the baseball. So the idea that, they've always used sticky substance, but it helps them control the ball. No. Why? They hit more people. No, they're just getting more spin. So hit batsmen, walks are up, strikeouts are up. Yes, home runs. Okay, they're hitting home runs, but strikeouts are up. So the ball is just in play less, and when it is in play, they're just running around the bases, circling, go touch home plate, go back in. So that has led to it's just become a little more boring. And Thibodeau, I think they realize it. They're going to try to do something about it. And I don't know that everybody is, but there was a lot of interaction with this. And I feel like all of us could see this. I'm like you. I'm glad they are doing it. And I'm fascinated by this. The fact that pitchers in Major League Baseball, once they realized and started getting this compilation of all this data, all this analytical stuff that computers are telling them, when they started tracking the spin rate because of the TrackMan system, the spin rate of pitches thrown starting in 2015. Well, we got to look at it. So now they're 5-6 seasons deep in that. The data has piled up, and that's why they've got enough, hundreds upon thousands of pitches and at-bats to track. And I was giving out some of those numbers earlier. It just shows you how important it is for a pitcher to be in a certain slot in terms of his spin rate on the ball. And I'm making the point. It's the second time I've made the point, but for those who just joined, Thibodeau, this was the numbers I used earlier. It's a fact, okay? If a pitcher throws a ball at 90 miles an hour, which is a very average MPH, velo, that's college now, that's high school, 90 miles an hour. But if the spin rate gets up to 2,600, Major League hitters swing and miss that pitch 10% of the time. The same data tells you if a pitch is thrown 100 miles an hour, but the spin rate is only 2,300, not 26, Major League hitters actually swing and miss that pitch less than they do the one thrown at 90 with more spin, which blows me away. But it's actual, it's factual, it's scientific. And so the pitchers then naturally, they start, after they've been tracking these spin rates for since 2015 now, they're all looking at it going, hey, this is the key, not velocity. It's the spin rate. What can I get? Okay, so now you've got pitchers and clubhouse guys coming up with their own concoction, finding these different substances that improve their spin rate better than just a little sticky pine tar. And so Major League Baseball is going to go after it.
Well, look, talking about the differences in the two, college and pro, I actually went a couple of years ago to a Mississippi Braves game. Brent Rooker was in town with his affiliate team.
Oh.
And I knew it was in the middle of the week, so I knew nobody would be there, so I just went and bought the ticket behind home plate. My wife and I went and enjoyed it at the ballpark. Well, what did we see? Ground balls and doubles in the gap and doubles in the corner. I was just like, man, you're hearing this bat crack an awful lot more than you do when you watch a ball game on TV. It's just there's more happening.
Yeah. Right. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, and it's just more fun when it's that way. Yeah. Hey, Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too. Have a good one. More doubles in the gap, more balls in play. Even if it's a ground ball in the infield, I got to pick it up, throw them out. Back to that whole thing that, your little league coach told you when you first started playing. Hit the ball on the ground. If you hit it on the ground, they got to make 2 plays to get you out. If you hit it in the air, they got to make 1 to get you out. Hit the ball on the ground. And it just it makes sense. I find it very interesting. The key is, are they going to enforce it? And again, back to what it was. This came out today. ESPN writers that cover baseball get a hold of this memo. The league let baseball teams in Major League Baseball know today, sent out a memo today. Of course, they know it's coming. In an attempt to crack down on the use of foreign substances on baseballs for the upcoming season, this is for pitchers, MLB is going to inspect balls taken out of play. They're going to analyze spin rate data and increase monitoring of dugouts and clubhouses. And it's going to be far reaching. Players are subject to discipline, regardless of whether evidence of the violation has been discovered following a game or not. But they're going to send the balls off to like a lab. They're going to track the spin rate with all this computer equipment of certain pitchers. If a guy has a certain spin rate throughout the year and all of a sudden he has one game where the spin rate goes sky high, they're going to take, when the balls come out of play, they're going to be like, number it, send it to the lab. They're going to be able to match the data with the on the ball with the data with the ball out of his hand and go, you're suspended. And I'm just telling you, it's going to happen. And the first time it does, there are going to be a lot of baseball people that are going to go, oh, shock, horror, freak out. I'm just telling you, it's coming. All kinds of conspiracies, but I like it. Dog Tired in Florence, thanks for your text. He says, there's nothing worse than playing co-ed softball, and the teams you play underrate themselves. He says, we were playing in Byram. This behemoth hit a rope, which in turn our second baseman hit her in the face. Oh, my gosh, are you serious? 2 surgeries later, no more co-ed for her? What? That is scary. That is scary. Not worth it. Tip says, I played in a softball tournament once where the fields were next to train tracks. Whenever a train would come by, the beer in the concession stand would be half price as long as you could, hear the train horn? There'd be guys running off the field to get in line. Wow. So is that what they mean by beer league softball? The term that the LSU radio announcer used for Mississippi State's black uniforms as they look like they came out of beer league softball. Bulldog 44 texted the show and he says, just a side note for you, Matt. I was in high school teammates with 2 of your state teammates, Kenny Williamson and Greg Timms. Yeah, at seminary. So y'all played against Paul Mooney back then. He was a Collins kid. He went to Collins. You guys were at seminary. How about that? Well, blast from the past. Those are all great people. Great people, all 3 that you mentioned right there. All right, Anthony from Tupelo says, Ben McDonald was saying on the broadcast Friday night that the reason Major League Baseball has become a strikeout or home run league was because the infielders were so good that it was almost impossible now to get a ball past them. Well, look, that is true, Anthony. If you look at statistically the fielding percentages in Major League Baseball, if you take, like, go compare them. You could get the data. I don't have it in front of me. It'd take me a minute to Google it and look it up, but just, you can look it up yourself. You can take like the highest fielding percentages of the best college baseball teams in the country. Go find me, like the top team in the SEC and the top team in the ACC and tell me their fielding percentage. And then you compare that to major league teams, and it would be a very low fielding percentage compared to major league teams. I mean, they don't make errors hardly ever. Those guys are through the roof good, no doubt. But it's like Thibodeau was saying. Thibodeau started this hour off with a great call and point that, from his perspective as a baseball fan, mirrors all of us. And, you can tell me you got a Cy Young guy on the mound. Okay, great, wonderful. And you can tell me I got 3 home run derby champs in my lineup. Great. But if I turn that game on, all right, and it's 75 pitches of 1-hit, 2-hit baseball every night, it seems like, or a lot of it anyway, and long fly outs and the occasional home run and a whole bunch of swings and misses and the occasional hit by pitch. That's what we're getting. You sit there, and by the third inning, you're snoring. You kind of get bored with it. But if the ball's in play, you go, well, they're so good in the infield. Well, at least I'm watching them do their thing. At least there's action. Action. It's like I'm listening. That's a baseball jargon term that's out there now. Instead of, you hear a lot of announcers or people, color analysts, you listen to a game, instead of saying, this looks like a situation for a hit and run, or, they may move the runners right here, meaning they'll just go, I think we're about to see action, or this is a spot where you would see some action or see action. It's like, we've kind of condensed it to, well, hey, something might happen. You might want to pay attention right here because of the count and all, but it is what it is. But he's right, Anthony. I mean, it's a big part of it. They are, for sure that good. But you know what? The other part of this too in the baseball thing, just think about it. Again, how's this going to manifest? What's going to be the end result if they actually go through with this? Game day compliance officers in Major League Baseball will monitor dugouts, batting cages, and bullpens for violations of the foreign substance rules while filing daily reports of their observations with the league office. Daily reports. You think any of those are ever going to get out if there's a questionable one? While there has long been a rule against using foreign substances on baseballs, enforcement has been sporadic. So the story says, this memo that they sent today to all 30 major league teams says that on-field, in-game monitoring by umpires will not change. Well, they ain't been doing a whole lot to begin with. But this is what takes it a step further. If they follow through with it. But post-game analysis could lead to punishment. The new enhanced monitoring measures will provide a, quote from the memo here, separate evidentiary basis, meaning evidence, to support a finding that a player has violated the foreign substance rules. So I keep saying if they enforce it. Somebody made the point earlier on the Country Pleasing text line in hour 1, I think it was. Hey, yeah, sometimes baseball does a whole lot of talking and then nothing changes. Now, I get that. So if they enforce it and they do this, and actually have people at every game monitoring both dugouts, bullpens, clubhouses, foreign substance, force the players to hide it a little better anyway. Maybe you eliminate some of it. But if you're telling me that they are going to go one step further and they are going to, the balls that come off the field, catcher wants a new baseball, foul ball, whatever, the balls that come off the field, they'll take that baseball, they'll number it, and it gets sent to the lab. And they're going to do this for every game, while they are also charting the spin rate of every pitch for every pitcher. Okay? And Garrett Cole of the Yankees, or Trevor Bauer, now of the Dodgers, the dominant Dodgers, goes out there, and this is his spin rate all year. Oh, it's a good spin rate. This is his spin rate. And all of a sudden, he has a game against a division rival, important game, and the spin rate goes up 100 points, goes up 200. Well, they got the ball to match it. Give me the lab results, because if there's anything questionable with that spin rate, suspended. If you're telling me that that's about to be the world we're going to live in, then I'm saying I'm all for it, because it may put the ball in play. It may be less of a swing and miss thing. Maybe hitters start making all the money like they did back in the 90s instead of now the pitcher's making all the money. And like I told you, if you want to look at the opposite example, go back to the 1950s and 60s. What happened? Babe Ruth had a home run record, right? Babe Ruth was everything. I mean, the game was, it all pointed to Babe Ruth, this big star. And the records, and of course the DiMaggio hitting streak and everything, and it was living off of that in this huge popularity. And the thinkers and decision makers in Major League Baseball in the early 60s, when all of a sudden Maris and Mickey Mantle on the same team for the Yankees are chasing this home run record, and the offensive numbers are going up and all, you know what they did? They were worried that these new guys are going to go catch and break all these old long-standing records and diminish the game. So we don't want them breaking the records. So the decision makers went, hey, umpires, start calling a few more strikes. Expand the strike zone. You know, you haven't been giving them any off the plate, outside or inside. Give the pitchers a call. Expand the strike zone outside and in and up and down. Make it a bigger strike zone, call more strikes. You know what happened? About for the next decade, pitchers dominated baseball. They did. In comes Sandy Koufax. And so just a little tweak in something shifted things. It did it once. Maybe it does it again. I don't know. I don't know if it does. They were throwing 89 back then, not 99 like they are now. Flowtown Ghost said, so pretty much someone's son needed a new job and the compliance position was created. Are you saying that there is nepotism in the world? Ghost, is that what you are implying to me right now? How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? Hey, JB, I got one more baseball nugget back from your era. You want it?
Uh-oh. Yeah, man, always. Can't get too much of that.
A game-used bat by Ty Cobb sold for $1.1 million. I said your era. I was just picking on you. It was from the 1928 Major League Baseball season.
Yeah, that was two.
A game-used bat by Ty Cobb back in the 1928 Major League season just sold for $1.1 million.
Look, man, I was talking with my boss at Live Oaks, Kyle. Baseball cards are skyrocketing again. Man.
Oh, I know. It's a big thing now.
Yeah. You talked about it a couple weeks ago with a couple cards that went pretty high. Man, he's got a bunch of them.
Yeah. Well, they are sky. It's big. It's big. They're collector's items again. It's funny how all that stuff cycles back around. Let's see. Somebody spoke to the man who bought this Ty Cobb bat for $1.1 million. He wants to remain anonymous. He told news outlets that the Cobb bat was used for 7 seasons, including his legendary 1922 season when he batted .401. Oh, I bet the owner of that bat wants everybody to think that. So that he maybe paid $1.1 million, he can turn around and sell it for $2.1, if that were true. So there you go. It's a 34.5-inch, 40.1 ounce It's made of ash. Hillerick and Bradsby bat. That would be the brand. Sold for $1.1 million at a private sale. Ty Cobb was kind of a hard person to get along with. His marriages didn't last. People didn't like him. His teammates, I don't know, I think just a couple of them even attended his funeral.
Yeah, even shoeless Joe Jackson didn't want him coming back to the Field of Dreams.
That's right. True story, though. Late in his life, I guess he was in early 70s, but his quote was, if he had to do anything different in life, he'd go back and make more friends. Isn't that sad? Somebody say that right at the end of their life. Pretty telling. Pretty telling. Make more friends. Pretty good advice also.
Amen.
All right. Little ways to go. Y'all stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beechnut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beechnut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy bird's eye. Better buy bird's eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big bird's eye buy this week is bird's eye orange juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy bird's eye. Better buy bird's eye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll go for Cheerios. Great way to start the day with really great eating. That's Cheerios, one of the few foods made from oats. The tasty cereal grain everyone should have at breakfast. Crisp and golden as only a toasted oat cereal can be. And nourishing? Why, a Cheerios breakfast gives you the power protein that grown-ups need to help stay in trim and youngsters need to grow on. Toasted oat goodness, toasted oat flavor, a delicious power breakfast. That's Cheerios.
Take your winning bet. Be it the gridiron, the hardwood, the baseball diamond, and more. You can get all the action all year long at Ameristar Casino. Don't forget to download our app so you can preload your bets for the fastest service. Just head over to AmeristarCasinoVicksburg.com for more information. Stay, play, and dine at Central Mississippi's premier gaming destination, Ameristar Casino Hotel. Gambling problem? Call 888-777-9696.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
Are you ready? Now back to the guy who loves his banana pudding. It's the Matt Wyatt Show.
Live in the studio.
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
Yo! And JB, you remember the story I told you about my dad and the chocolate-covered peanuts?
Uh-huh.
And it's so funny if he were here. And I'm hoping it's about to work out that soon, sometime over the next couple of months, he'll be here and be able to be in the studio with me some on the show. I think hopefully we get to work that out. But anyway, yeah, the story... He's always got snacks in his truck. He laughs about he laughs about it. I laugh about it. His vehicle, his truck has, and he's had different trucks over the years, but they all look the same on the inside. And what I mean by that is they all have in the cab of the truck, you can always find the following items in my dad's truck. A tape measure, okay? One of those flat carpenter pencils, or 2 or 3. Loose change, a jacket, a box of shotgun shells, a 5-gallon bucket, a claw hammer for pulling nails, nail puller, a 3.5, 4 foot level. He's always got that in there. Okay.
Level on the level.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I could go on and on. I'm telling you, all those things I mentioned are in the cab of his truck at this very moment, including snacks, chocolate-covered peanuts, those little peanut butter log candies.
Oh, those are the best thing in the world, man.
Yeah. A box
Can't find those everywhere, though, pal.
You can't, really. Hey, they make a different kind of same thing, but it's a little different way of making it.
Atkinson's.
Well, you can get them at
the star on them.
You can get them at Cracker Barrel in a little round tin.
Right. That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. But he'll have Little Debbie's in there. Oh yeah, they're in there. I promise you. Then
like oatmeal cream cakes or what?
You know,
just varies. Just Little Debbie, right?
Christmas tree cakes year round.
Oh my!
I mean, yeah. And then in the bed of his truck, and he's always got a toolbox on there, so the toolbox is full of stuff too. But in the bed of his truck, at all times, there's about 2 shovels. Okay, 2 shovels. Spare lumber that he's just saving or he picked up somewhere. Okay, 3 or 4 paint cans, a paint roller, and and then this time of year, several fishing rods. Okay, that's just, it's always in there, all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, he's always nibbling on chocolate covered peanuts and stuff like that. And the story was, this is years ago. His wife's name's Marg, and he drove to meet her somewhere. They were going somewhere, like going out to eat or whatever, and they get out and they're walking in, and she just busts out laughing. She can't stop laughing. And he says, what is it? She can't stop laughing. What is it? She can't tell him she's laughing. He's like, you got to see your pants. Well, he had been eating chocolate covered peanuts, and some he lost the grip on and didn't realize it. They'd slipped down in the seat between his legs. He'd been sitting on, he was wearing a pair of khaki pants. He'd been sitting on those chocolate covered peanuts and like wallowing around on them for about a 30-minute drive. He had chocolate all over the seat of his britches. And so
did they get it to go?
No, I think what he told me is like, well, we just went on in today. What do I care what people think?
Right. It doesn't matter. Let them think what they want to think.
Here's what made me think of that. Now, it's the smallest things, but what made me think of that, JB, is today, I heard it on the Chris Brooks show, but I see it here in my notes. Today is National Chocolate Covered Raisin Day. Now, time out.
Raisinets. Can't go wrong.
Chocolate covered raisins.
You ain't never had them? Come on.
I've had,
you had yogurt covered raisins?
Yes. Love yogurt covered raisins.
Man.
But I don't think I've ever had chocolate covered raisins.
Oh, man. I used to get Raisinets and Goobers and mix the boxes.
Okay.
In movie theaters.
And Goobers, what is that? That candy? It's chocolate covered
peanuts.
Okay. And mix it with chocolate.
So you get the Goobers box and the Raisinets box in the movie theater, and you blend them.
Raisinets or chocolate covered raisins?
Yeah.
See, I got to try that. I've never had chocolate covered raisins. Hey, what about putting the peanuts down in your Coke or your Dr. Pepper? Did you ever do that? Fill your Coke bottle full of them? I haven't done that in a long time. I don't know about some chocolate covered raisins now. I'm not sure about that. Davini Equipment phone line here in the Casserole Hour. Ready, Teddy. What's up, Teddy? Thanks for calling. Hey, Teddy. I think JB got distracted. We'll get him back in a second. Ready, Teddy texted me, though, just a little while ago. He said that he had lunch at Roosevelt's at Live Oaks today. I said, if I still carried my clubs in my truck, my company would probably be a man short this afternoon. Course is beautiful. Look, he sent us a picture also. Good to see that sunshine. Last week we had a day for weather. Thank goodness it didn't materialize for the most part into anything really terrible. But they're saying again that, at least for my part of the state, North Mississippi, tomorrow could be a day where we are, hunkering down again. May get those sirens going off. Who knows? But hopefully, again, hopefully not. But they're saying there's a chance for that tomorrow. It's supposed to be thunderstorms and all of that kind of stuff. JB, do we still have Teddy?
No, I think he had to go.
Okay.
But I have a softball umpire that called a few games I played in, but he called in Clinton for almost 25 years, and he's on hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name is Terry, and he's got some softball umpiring church stories.
Terry.
Yeah. Good dude.
I can't.
Good dude.
I really want to hear Terry. And are we talking church league softball, Terry?
He's talking church league and everything. So here we go.
All right, Terry. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Well, listen. If you can hear some of the foulest language you'll ever hear in church softball, trust me. I did it for 23, almost 24 years in Clinton. And look, I only had to throw real C out of probably 4 or 5 games over his career. No, he's a personal friend of mine, very good friend of mine. But no, look, between church softball, the worst though is these weekend tournaments.
Yeah.
Men's tournaments, oh my goodness, you can't imagine the cussings I've taken in 24 years. It's unbelievable. But the story I wanted to tell you, Matt, is the worst case that ever happened to me in 24 years. I got talked into coming out on a Saturday afternoon for a girls' softball tournament in Clinton, and they needed someone to come out and just call the bases to give some of these other umpires a break. So I'm calling a 10 and under girls game, 10 years old now, between Madison and Vicksburg. Bang, bang play at first base, and Madison girl run it. Well, I called her out. Her 72-year-old grandmother walks over to the fence, and if you heard what was coming out of this 72-year-old woman's mouth, you wouldn't believe. I said, ma'am, you've got to quit this. I said, your granddaughter and them are standing 10 foot from you. And it didn't make no difference to her. She kept on. Finally, I called the coach. I said, this either ends or I'm going to call the game. The game's over with. You've got 1 minute to. He started talking to her, didn't do no good. She kept on. Finally, I called the game. Madison, you lose. This game is over with. She kept on and on and on, and finally I told the...
Your ability to copy, print, fax, and scan are critical to your business. Unitech, an authorized dealer for Canon and
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if you know who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
Zone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, let's pick it up where we left off over here on the Davini Equipment phone line. Terry, longtime softball umpire. Yeah. All right, so Terry, where we left you was you had gotten to the point where the 70-something-year-old grandma and her 10-year-old girl softball game, the 70-year-old grandma is cussing up a storm and mad, won't quit. You tell the coach they can't stop her. You call the game off and say it's over. Then what happened?
It's over. Yes, sir. Well, and if you think it ended then, of course, everybody in Madison's ready to hang me up by my Buster Browns. But
sure.
When it finally continued, I got the director of the tournament. We called the Clinton police, and they came out and handcuffed this woman and took her away in a police car to the police station. That's a true story. It happened. That's probably the all-time story I had and all that. But, like I say, whenever you're calling men's adult, I call them major league wannabes. Oh, good gracious. You can't do nothing right. If it's a bang-bang call, well, guess what? You're going to have 10 people happy and 10 people that ain't going to be happy, and that's just the way it is.
Right. Well, and I'll be honest with you, Terry, okay, you're talking about this from the perspective of an umpire, and it's softball, but it could be any referee or umpire. You know what you're doing. You're operating on a set. There's a reason you're doing it. You're getting paid to do it. You know what you're doing. Okay. And I have told this recently. 2 examples. One, I have noticed, because I don't go to very many Ole Miss baseball games. I watch them when they're on TV or on the SEC Network Plus. I have noticed more at Ole Miss more so than any other place I think I've noticed. They have a certain group of fans at Ole Miss that sit right behind the home plate umpire, okay? So when you're watching the game, you have the center field camera, you constantly have a view of these fans who sit right behind the umpire. Well, for whatever reason, at Ole Miss more than any other place, those people jaw and scream and yell at the umpire and moan and complain about calls more than any other place you've ever seen. And the thing is, they get worse as the umpire gets better. It's like he's calling it exactly right, and they're, oh, come on. And I'm like, we can see it was a good call. So that's one thing. And I'm looking at it going from that perspective. Okay, these are people who they are convinced the umpire doesn't know what he's doing, yet I can see he got it right. Okay. My other example is this, Terry, and I've told this story before. I won't go the long version, but my dad and I were sitting at that Mississippi State, Missouri baseball game at the SEC tournament several years ago that went to like 17 innings till about 2 a.m. And we were sitting down there close to the third base dugout. We got on the umpire real bad on a close play at the plate. He called a guy out. We got on his case. We let him have it. Now, we let him have it. Convinced he got it wrong. Okay. State wins the game at like 3 a.m. Dad and I go back to the hotel room. We get up the next morning watching the highlights, and they showed that play. Man, that umpire got it exactly right. He was exactly right. And I was genuinely embarrassed at how much grief we gave that umpire. And then when I saw the replay on TV, I was like, well, doggone, he was right. So I think,
the one thing doing it for as many years as I did, Matt, the one thing I always tried to do, and John, I called several games that JB played in too. Now, I tried, you don't want to be on top of the play. I'm talking about within 3 or 4 foot of it. But, if the players see that you're hustling and, that you're trying to get, within 10 to 15 foot of a base to make a call, 95% of the time you'll never have an issue with it. It's just when you stand behind, just say you're calling home plate, and you stay, and the guy's running to third, and you don't come out from behind that plate and get at least halfway.
Yeah.
If you stay there at the plate and make the call, then everybody gets upset, But they got to see that you're hustling too. As long as you're hustling, I never had an issue, and that's the honest truth.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Terry, how come you never threw JB out of a game when you had the chance?
Look out now.
He first off, he was a good person, that was the hard part for me because I lived in Clinton for 42 years. And most everybody out there that I was umpiring for, I knew. I either went to church with them, they went to school, to Clinton school, and I'm 67 years old. I knew most of those people, all those years, the Chapels, Jarvis, and all them he was talking about earlier today.
Yeah.
See, I grew up knowing all that. Matter of fact, Jarvis Chapel's wife was the team sweetheart for my Little League baseball team back in 1962, 3, and 4.
How about that?
Yeah, she Lucy. Her maiden name was Lucy McDade.
Last
her dad
question.
was my coach.
I got another question for you. Did you ever have someone who was a friend or acquaintance that you were friendly with that after a softball game they were mad at you and stayed that way?
I tell you one person that got mad at me about a call one night, and when it was his wife jumped on him so bad that when the game was on, and he's one of my best friends, and that's Real C.
Really?
He was playing third base one night, and I made a call, and he told me, he said, "Pender, you're blind as a bat." And I said, "Well, probably." But after the game, he said, "Man, I owe you one." He said, "I should have." I said, "No." I said, "Look, I called it like I saw it."
I hope like crazy that he's listening, and I hope Chris Brooks is listening too. And JB, we need to save this clip and make sure Chris hears it. All the grief that Real C calls and gives Chris Brooks, we now have evidence that he can be a horse's butt too, just like the rest of us.
There you go.
Hey, you know, Real C is a very, very close friend of mine.
Yeah,
he really
that's
is.
Right. We just having fun. Well, I appreciate it so much, Terry. That's great.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
your story.
Terry, good to hear from you, man.
JB, it was good to talk to you. Hopefully I'll see you out at Live Oaks here for long, okay?
Sounds good, pal. You take care.
All right, bud. Later.
Uh-huh.
Hey, JB, so
yeah, I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, man.
He's a great storyteller.
Oh, look, man, and he is a good umpire. I mean, you can argue with him; he'll let you argue with him, but you're still going to be wrong.
They said Real C told him, "You blind as a bat," and his response was, "Well, probably." Hey, so Live Oaks, you get on. I could get there. I get on the Trace and then get on 49. And
it's about a mile and a half north on 49 from the Trace.
On the right side of the road.
That's correct.
East side. Okay, I played out there before. I'm trying to think. It's been.
Yeah, old Reddy Teddy sent us a picture. He took a picture out there today. And the course looks really, really good, man.
We had
really
some type of event out there. It was a scramble. And it's been several years ago, JB. It's the only time I've ever been out there. It's got that long driveway off the highway back to the clubhouse.
But everything now is up front. In the back is a wedding venue.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Hey, and I probably shouldn't. I don't know, but wasn't there someone there at one point working out there, maybe running it? He was a former Florida quarterback.
Yeah, I mean that's who he owns it right now.
He
Kyle
still owns
Morris.
it. What's his name?
Yeah, Kyle Morris.
Kyle Morris.
Yeah,
played QB at Florida. He was a Gator.
He was down there for Galen Hall, and then Spurrier's first year. And then after Spurrier's first year, he transferred to Mississippi College. Finished up there.
Okay.
Up here.
Yeah. I didn't get to meet him the day I was out there, I don't think, but somebody said, "Hey, that's in mentioned him and kind of told me that.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. I was going to tease it later on, but he and I are getting ready to do our own show on our sister.
Oh, are
station,
you really?
106.3.
You and Kyle?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
that's great.
We're going to, looks like Tuesdays at 6 p.m. He and I will be together.
What is the name of the show?
Well, we're meeting with Jake on Friday to kind of get all those things put together. But
let's see. I'm going to say, let's see. You got JB.
QB and JB, maybe.
QB and
like
JB. That'd be good. Yeah. That'd be good. That would actually be really good. QB and JB. Yeah. Well, that's great. What's the station number again?
106.3.
Okay.
WJQS.
Attaboy.
Yeah. We're looking forward to that. Yeah, but and Kyle's like you, man. He is very analytical when it comes to. He's already got the quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round since 1980, and the ones that won Super Bowls and the one that haven't.
Oh, that's great.
He's got some good analytics, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
And so he still watches games and keeps up with the games and stuff. Now, I'd love to hear what he thinks, being a former Gator, about the impact of this injury to the Georgia receiver.
Well, anytime you want to get him on, we can work that out.
Yeah, we maybe ought to do that. Sure enough. George Pickens, the receiver, wears number 1 for Georgia. Big-time player. I mean, big-time player, NFL prospect type of guy. And, he was a big part of their offense last year. I think he was hurt earlier and then came back. And he had some big catches in that one touchdown. It was a close game at Mississippi State. I don't know that Georgia against Mississippi State. I don't know that Georgia beat State without George Pickens. And certainly, he was such a huge part of their offense once JT Daniels took over at quarterback for Georgia. And we got word today that yesterday at practice, spring practice, in a non-contact thing, George Pickens at Georgia tore his ACL. Georgia releases statement. George Pickens' injury confirms ACL injury will require surgery. Already started the pre-op rehabilitation program. Good news, MRI showed it to be an isolated injury, so no other structural damage. And when he gets back, it'll be all according to his work ethic. He's got a long road ahead of him. It's a tough blow for Georgia, and even obviously tougher blow for him. That'll wrap it up. For JB, I'm Matt. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you then. See you.
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, Percy.